Don Lemon should have seen the writing on the wall because he was talking reckless in terms of being on national television. From asking a woman if she had mommy brain.
Did you lose your train of thought? I do it all the time. Is it fair to say this? Because I'm not a mommy, but is it mommy brain? Is it you?
No,
you
Don, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Or talking about how women's soccer players should be paid less than men's soccer players.
The men's team makes more money.
Hey.
If they make more money, then they should get more
Here's
money.
why the men's team-
The men's team makes more money because
You know why?
because people are more interested in
But
the men.
guess who?
Saying that Nikki Haley was past her prime to run for president.
Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
Popping off on his co-workers in the back office. Coming at this other anchor on television saying whatever ethnicity you are, whatever you are, don't talk about black issues. Like
That you're
That's what I
sitting
think we should
here,
say.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
Whatever ethnicity
about
I'm, I'll
what
tell
it's
you-
like to be black in
Whatever
America.
ethnicity I am, I'll tell
sorry.
you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
the
but I think
content
you should-
of the
if you're gonna
ideas.
do it, you should do it in an honest way.
he was really just saying whatever came across his mind as if he almost didn't care. And then when they asked him recently about how he feels, he just didn't seem bothered to me. So I don't know if he just was like, if he was done with it or what. He just seemed like he was done with it.
I think in the case of this, it's one of those things where Don Lemon, he's worked there for so long. At some point in time, he just got too comfortable.
Bitch, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable.
It felt like, well, you know, they ain't gonna touch me. I'm Mr. Untouchable, and I think you kind of saw that with his comments. But one thing I can also say though too is within the last like 10 years, news has taken a dramatic shift where it's gotten to the point where it's so woke. It's gotten to the point where it's so woke that you literally have to tap dance around certain subjects. And I think that's where you kind of saw his boiling point, because even for him, someone who would be defined as someone who is woke says, okay, this is enough.
Right.
And that's why I think you kind of see in little instances where he's talking about women's soccer and he's just like, all right, whatever. And he just says it straight. He's talking about, you know, Nikki Haley being past her prime and cutting it straight. Even though I disagreed with his thing, and we have a whole video on that, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. I actually like his response. I like the fact that it kind of seems that he's over with it. You got to take growth in your life. You got to leave at some point in time.
The game plan for what's next? Are you going after the company? What's going on?
I'll see what happens
You
next.
seem excited for a new chapter.
I am excited for a new chapter.
He went out sad, though, if I'm being real. He just went out like, you know.
I don't know. I would agree with you that he went out sad if he feels sad about it. If he doesn't feel sad about it, I don't think he went out sad. I mean, he got fired.
That's what I mean when I say that he got out sad, is the way that they let him go. Like, they let him go with very little respect, you know. At the end, they came out and made a public statement. But, I mean, there's a difference between, like, a normal anchor farewell where they show a whole bunch of clips and do this whole bunch of stuff, whereas the you know, deuces up. They gave him the Chris Como.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have done differently looking back?
No, I live my life with no regrets. And whatever I did, and I own. And so, no, I don't look back and I don't want to change things in the past.
Well, look, it'd be nothing for Don Lemon to go create a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, I
Now-
mean, that's what Chris Cuomo did.
Oh, did
Chris
he?
Cuomo got fired, created I think he's got like a podcast or whatever on
Oh,
YouTube.
there you go.
And I mean, I think a big part of this too is also knowing who your base is. I think Don Lemon kind of lost sight of that. I mean, like I said, I think part of it was a build up from woke culture, because you got to tap dance around everything, because we're at a point where people are so sensitive that you can't even talk about the bigger issue without giving a, not everybody are giving a, I don't hate women, I don't hate men, I'm not against, like, you got to say that so many times in a video that by the time you get to the real story, it's like 2 minutes later. It's annoying. Like I was going to say about knowing your main audience, he also has to do the due diligence to know his main audience and know that he can't say certain things on this platform because it's going to lead to him getting fired. So,
But like you said, number one, he just got too comfortable.
way too comfortable.
And number two, at some point in time, he probably just said, I'm going to say what's on my mind. To an extent.
Yeah.
Partly because he thought he was untouchable.
Yeah. So ultimately, what are you going to say? Good decision, bad decision, Don Lemon? Them firing Don Lemon?
I mean, it all depends on the almighty dollar. If that morning show he was on was receiving bad ratings and they thought that he was the cause of it, good business decision. You got to do what makes financial sense. Not saying I want him to lose his job,
Yeah.
but money talks.
And that's another thing, though. That's one thing I'm really glad that you brought up, because he wasn't the only person who lost their job this week.
Oh, yeah.
Tucker Carlson lost his job.
Right.
And people were celebrating his loss of a job, which I hated. And I hate it because we did the same thing with Dom. Like, Rick Ross was celebrating Don Lemon's getting fired, talking about, oh, you can work at Lemon Pepper and Wings. And
Just found out Don Lemon was terminated from CNN. Damn, Don. But guess what? The brothers got your back. We hiring it at Wingstop.
That to me is so whack. That is so corny. It's so low class, low value. Like if someone loses, listen, I can dislike someone. That doesn't mean I want them to lose their primary source of income.
Right.
Like I don't understand how like people say like, oh, we're the most forgiving. You're the most forgiving, unforgiving society of all time. It doesn't make any sense. Like people are gonna be like, you need to be open-minded. You need to understand people and where they come from. As soon as you don't like them, I'm gonna give you a bad name. I'm glad you're fired. I hope you divorce your wife. Like they say all this nasty stuff. Listen, I didn't agree with most of the things that Don Lemon said. This is even before he got based or whatever. Even before, I didn't agree with a lot of stuff Don Lemon said. I didn't agree with a lot of stuff that Tucker Carlson said. But at the end of the day, there's still people who are working. They're not out there selling crack. They're not out there like hurting people. They're just sharing an opinion. If you don't agree with someone's opinion, it's fine. You can agree to disagree without wishing someone death or harm. Or, I mean, it ain't talking about death, but listen. Or, you know, them getting fired, divorcing their wife. Like, people are weird. I think people are I think you're a weirdo if you wish that on someone.
I agree with everything you said except for the part about wishing them to be fired. Now, I don't wish Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon to be fired. I'll put it this way. I would never wish for them to have a divorce or be killed or receive death threats or anything like that. But I will say that if 80% of people that watch your show say we don't like what you're saying, we don't like your opinion, that it's fair to have them removed from that TV show. Because then why are they there?
No, okay. Well, that's looking at it from a business perspective. Like, if you're talking about the business firing them, then I don't have a problem because that's based off of ratings. Right. I'm talking about, like, people celebrating them literally getting fired. Like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you got fired. Like, dude, he wasn't the president. Like, they have animosity towards him. He's just a guy sharing his opinion.
Right.
There's so many different sources now to get your point of view. If you're a conservative, there's a lot of conservative YouTubers. If you're liberal, there's a lot of liberal YouTubers. Right. There's literally a space for everyone to be here. That's why I don't see the point in someone being that worked up to celebrate someone getting fired, because there's literally something that you can watch that's pinpointed directly towards you that you can do without interrupting someone else. All right, so I'm gonna say it's a bad decision to fire Don Lemon, unless it's ratings, right? If it's ratings wise, then you know, obviously, business-wise, it's a great decision. But just to fire him for his comments, I'm going to say it's a bad decision. People make mistakes all the time. All right, guys, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This has been Bad Decisions. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on IG and TikTok.